how does a change to the Bitcoin protocol happen? Like, let's say that there is a threat coming for quantum, and it needs to update to accommodate for a quantum threat.
Yeah.
How would that change in the code unfold? Like, what would practically have to happen?
As far as quantum threats, I don't see that anytime soon. I think we're at least a decade away from it, and there's already millions of eyes working on a solution.
And it would expose all banks and all assets. Everything would be hackable.
If we had a quantum problem, Bitcoin would be the last of your concerns because the entire world would blow up.
Yeah, right.
So,
but how does Bitcoin change happen? Like, what is a consensus network?
I
For those who
believe
don't
it probably be
understand.
a fork of it. They probably hard fork it, like upgrade it, so to speak, into a version that is resistant to all of this. And there'll be a process to follow to upgrade your wallets and your infrastructure in order to become quantum resistant.
Yeah.
I think this happens very soon. I don't think we're going to wait until we have an attack to get the solution. I think the solution will be readily available way before then.
But for the newbies listening, what is a fork? Like, what does it mean?
It's like it's a different version of it. Like you make a copy of it, but it's an upgraded version with enhancements and protections and all that account for all of these
And
scenarios.
who does that coding? Who does that work?
There's Bitcoin developers worldwide. It's there's a lot of them that are anonymous that are working on the code. There's a lot of private groups that we know of, and some of that we don't know of. That make their contributions to this whole thing. Bitcoin's code is the most watched code in the history of code because it's so valuable and such like an important and critical piece of humanity that there are so many people obsessively watching it to ensure nothing goes wrong. This is why I'm extremely bullish on the future. And we start seeing this more through like recent events, like the core versus knots thing and all that. This just illustrates to me that there are a lot of people bullishly passionate about protecting Bitcoin than there are those that are trying to disrupt it for whatever moronic reason.
Yeah.
So the quantum resistance thing falls, in that basket.
But the node operators will vote, right?
Yes, of course.
That's how it works.
Running a node is a must for every Bitcoin.
Because that's what gives you power as a Bitcoiner. Is you get a vote when you run a node,
Absolutely.
right? But it doesn't matter whether you got $100 million worth of Bitcoin or $10 of Bitcoin.
Correct.
If you've got a node, you get the same vote. Correct?
That's right. Absolutely. Every Bitcoiner should be running a node. If you don't like what somebody else is deciding, you can just ignore them, run your own node, life goes on.
Right. And so the Bitcoin that people hold is still valid, even if you don't adopt what the other
Absolutely.
fork, yeah.
Absolutely. As long as you hold it yourself in self-custody. You don't leave it with an institution. You don't leave it on an exchange. You certainly don't custody it in a bank. You certainly don't involve a collaborative custody, like an institutional collaborative custody, to bring them into your business. You and you alone have to learn the skills to hold and manage and use Bitcoin 100%. They're not hard.
For a lot of Australians listening to this, like if you've tried to buy Bitcoin lately, you will know that the banks will try to stop you from transferring what you thought was your money to a crypto exchange to buy Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
And so this is the exact problem that Tony is trying to explain to you right now, that when you leave your Bitcoin on an exchange, it's like leaving your money in a bank.
Correct.
If the bank doesn't like what you want to do with that money, they just say, yes, sorry, we're going to put that to our security review team.
The compliance
team, or we're going to put you on hold, or we're going to put you through warnings. You're like, hang on a second, isn't this my money? No. That's where you went wrong. You thought the money you gave us is now yours still. No, we just give you an IOU. There's all these terms and conditions, and we have a government that is dictating whatever they want to dictate, and believe me, they're going to listen to the government before they listen to you when it comes to what you want to do with your money.
100%.
And so self-custody is like having cash in your mattress.
Correct.
You can just pull it out, and then if I want to pay Tony in cash, I don't have to go through a third-party intermediary.
Correct.
That's what self-custody gives you. It gives you the power to not have to ask permission from the bank to pay people you want to pay for the goods and services you want. And all of us know what it's like when the bank says, what are you using this money for? What do you need? It's like, none of your business, bro. Like,
Absolutely.
So that's what Bitcoin, and I want people to understand this, is that, first of all, BlackRock don't own all this Bitcoin. BlackRock custody this Bitcoin in exchange for a fee.
Correct.
And you, when you do it, take on the risk of BlackRock telling you what you can and can't do, or the government telling BlackRock what you can and can't do.
Absolutely.
And you pay them for the privilege of losing control.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So they don't really have control over the Bitcoin network. And then you've got the biggest holders like MicroStrategy that still, what Tony's saying is most of the Bitcoin that's mined, and we're at 99% or something now, that's 99.5%.
The last Bitcoin will be mined long after we're dead, in the year 2140.
Right. But still 90-something% of the Bitcoin is mined. So of the mined Bitcoin, it's already in the hands of private individuals.
Correct.
The vast majority.
Correct.
It'll be, at today's prices, it'll be almost impossible for a government or anybody to really co-opt it at this
Absolutely.
point.
I think 2025 might be the last year where regular folks can go out and actually buy Bitcoin and hold it themselves, simply because, like I said earlier, the wrong players are paying attention to it. And when they vacuum clean the remaining supply, its fiat price is going to be unattainable. So unless you're sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars, you're not buying anything. So how do 8 billion people benefit from this? At some point, they're going to earn their living in sats. Like, no one's going to want to get paid in debasing toilet paper. They're going to want to be paid in real money.
Yes.
Which is Satoshis, Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And so layer 2s is where the world scales into. The layer 1, the buying the Bitcoin now like you're doing and holding it in self-custody, that's going to be gone. That's going to be like a scarcity, like a financial privilege limited to the tiny amount of people that are paying attention today. Unless, again, you're sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars, it's going to be way out of your reach. So take advantage of it while you can. I mean, everything that's happening in the world now, these scare tactics where you see that volatility, when the price drops, the last thing you want to be is scared. When we see price drops, like, we're happy because we hope more people are paying attention, jumping into the opportunity and buying it. Now, for those that are still counting in dollars and euros, if you think that the $117,000 price today is expensive, reframe your mindset as 1 penny, because Bitcoin's future is exponentially larger than any gains it had made in its past. And the reason for that is very simple. When it made all these gains, only a handful of people were paying attention. Now you've got the world about to FOMO into it because they realize it's their only play. If they don't do this, you are going to get completely